either died or all of my tanks had their coils burnt out. So in a real rush, I dug out my Swarin drop, which had also run out of battery, so I threw that on really quick.
At least you've got something to vape on.
Yeah, it's something at least. But yeah, that's what I'm on this week. That's it.
Just as well, I couldn't sit there for 2 hours without a vape.
That's it.
I've stolen his keyboard again, right? We've got Bunny's typing as vaping brew now.
Also, did you see the pic of the chocolate Scotch eggs I'm thinking of bringing to Expo? Considering I don't eat egg, I won't be trying it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but it's not egg, it's just doing a dessert one.
Chocolate Scotch. Oh, is it with cream eggs? I don't eat cream eggs either.
It's she's doing an Easter egg shell filled with stuff and curls or something on it, I don't know.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I haven't seen it.
It looks good. So I am on, as usual, my Walking Dead Michael with the FP, and in that I have Stevie's Telegraph Porter's Mexican fried ice cream, as usual, because I love the stuff. I've also got my crown kit going, the mesh coils, and in that I have a custard donut, which is rather good. And I have my Orion Q, and in that I have my medicinal stuff, which is lemon kush, which I'm on just now. So yeah, so that's my 3 things that I'm on, which I've been on for a couple of weeks. I don't seem to have changed anything up for a wee while. I'm quite satisfied with what I'm on.
I can't even remember what I've got in here. It's been that long since I used it.
It tastes alright though.
It tastes good, so I'm going with it.
I know. I know. Hi Yogan, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. So guys, what's everybody vaping on at home? Tell us what you're on, to get any nice new shinies, nice new juice they're trying out.
More interesting than mine, that's for sure.
You're always interesting, darling.
I mean, sure.
Hey Tom, how you doing?
To be fair, earlier I was on Chris's jewel that I stole, but it had the 50 milligram American pods in it. I was on that earlier, and then it died, and I couldn't find the charger, so...
Did you get a Nick High?
Oh, it was amazing. I love that stuff.
See, I like the 20 milligram, but I don't think I can do 50.
Oh, the 50's good.
Okay, so Bill's saying, hi everyone, just got the Lost Vape Orion Go for £34 arrived today. That's a good deal, Bill. Okay, Tom's just ordered a nice new mod tank and juice. Don't keep us guessing, tell us what it is. I have a new shiny. It got the... See, you're not telling us you got new shinies and stuff, but you're not telling us what you got. Oh, Sybil's on DIY cola. He started making his own juice. That's what Zan's making just now, is cola.
I did colour my hair again, and it's actually purple, but this camera's shit.
Melinda, yes, I enjoyed everything that you sent, darling. My favourite thing was the bacon chocolate. I loved the bacon chocolate. Zan was not keen, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You know?
No.
I like the sweet and the salty of the bacon.
No, I'm not a fan of bacon.
Okay, so what have we got? We've got Tomax on the Osmodus Lustro. Stevie's on the Crown Kit with Dirty Diesel. I can never remember how to say this. Cerealoth, sort of. Sear, I'm just going to call you Sear, right? Vandy Berserker Mini is cube for me.
Just
there's certain ones that the Scottish accent struggles with, okay?
S. I'm going to use S from now on.
Boring.
Apparently, are we not good enough to have your full attention, Chris? How dare you? Chris has got us on one screen and the match on the other. How dare you, Chris?
We're tougher than bloody footballers, that's for sure.
I'm sorry, Sainty, I just don't like bacon. I'm sorry.
I know she doesn't like bacon. I know.
It was that was nearly like endgame for me and Chris when I told him that I didn't like bacon.
I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't like bacon. Even vegetarians that I know.
Hi.
It's one thing that they miss.
No.
Sai, it's just like Sai from Sai. Right, okay, I'll just call you Sai then. That's easy. I got new mod, the world's tiniest side-firing mech tube, the N Quadro, and the Cloud 1 RTA with Elite Turkish. And another tiny.
Everyone's shouting at me for not liking bacon. I'm sorry. I love the smell and I wish I could like it because it smells amazing. And like a good bacon sandwich, I'm like, oh, I could eat that. And then I do. And it's just, no.
It doesn't do it for you, no.
It just doesn't live up to what I hope it would.
I don't eat a lot of bacon, but when I do take a notion of like, and bacon is life, I know Bunny loves her bacon. But when I do take a wee notion, I like a bacon sandwich.
No. Can't do it, I'm afraid. I'm all about the sausage.
I see it as more bacon for me. I know.
100% all about the sausage.
No, see, I prefer a sausage sandwich, I've got to say. I do.
That's where it's at.
I do. I like a nice Cumberland sausage.
If you haven't tried them, Aldi do a really, really nice chili sausage.
Alright.
And it's just enough spicy. They're really, really good. Chili cheese.
Ooh, I like the sound of them.
They're really tasty.
Yeah, because I've had the Lidl's do venison sausages, which are really good.
I'm not a fan.
You're such a fussy eater.
I am.
You're a really fussy eater, aren't you? Yeah.
I have tried it.
Yeah. It's very strong tasting venison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of them Marmite things. You either love it or you hate it.
It's the same with boar though, as well. It's really, really porky, and I'm just not a fan.
Okay, Gav saying, got a Zestia this week. It's back in its box. Can't get rid of a funky taste. Even tried different cotton. No luck. Oh! Have you put it through an ultrasonic, Gav? I know, don't even get me started on how funny she is about food. I know, because I remember I put the thing up in the bitches group about what you wouldn't eat. And I had like maybe 4 things, and Em was like 38 out of the list she wouldn't eat. I was like, what?
They were horrible things though.
They were not horrible things.
They were horrible things. They were. It was, what was it? It was things like Brussels sprouts and oysters and stuff. Like, who eats that really?
I do. It's lovely.
No.
I just had a big bowl of Brussels sprouts with bacon bits in it for my dinner the other night. It was lovely.
No, that's just really weird.
It's good.
No, and like oysters are basically like drinking snot.
They do have a texture of snot, yes, I will give you that. I like them. As long as they're fresh.
No.
As long as they're
No.
No, see, you putting ketchup on a bacon sandwich, no. See, I don't get that. I don't get all this fucking putting sauce on shit.
Right. I don't get sauce on sandwiches or on burgers a lot of the time because it just makes the bread soggy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
On that one.
I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad.
With you on that one. No, not HP on it either. No, but
no sauce.
I like HP, but I just not on a sandwich.
I'm glad you agree. The worst thing is though is because I hate mayo.
Right.
And I mean, like, neither does my mum. But if we go to Tesco's or whatever and want a meal deal, you can't. There's no sandwiches there without mayo.
Alright, so Tesco do one that up here and it's just ham?
Yeah, just ham, and then they do a cheese and ham. But they're really boring. Like, why can't I have interesting sandwiches?
I know.
But yeah.
I do like mayo. I do like mayo in a salad sandwich, I've got to say. But I don't do the whole tomato and HP and all that on other stuff.
Yeah. It's hard, like, at every restaurant I have to tell them not to put mayo on a burger.
Yeah, it does become soggy when it goes in your mouth, Sybil, but do you know that way it's the fact that you know that it's soggy before, no.
Yeah, I'm the same. But it's like, yeah, every restaurant I have to tell them specifically not to put mayo on a burger. You should ask for mayo if you want it, and it should be an option on your sandwich, not be forced. Anyway, that's one of my big gripes. It's one of those things that like really gets me irate.
I know. You have an oyster festival down there. Yeah, we have one up here, Pasty. There's a very famous restaurant up here in Lochfine, which it's got a big oyster bar, and you can go and you get all the oysters and the mussels and all that fresh off the boat in the morning.
That's fucking weird.
What weird? It's really good. Good for you. Okay, Gail, question. Have you noticed that the Orion for the DNA version, the pods are turning shit lately? I've not noticed that because I've not had mine very long and it's a queue that I've got. So I haven't, no. Zan only got me this a few weeks ago.
It depends what's in this chocolate Scotch egg. If it's mostly chocolate and delicious things, then yes.
I know. Who's peeking their head in? I'm casting, sweetheart. Sorry. That's okay. That's casting for us, but you can peek your head into digest.
Oh, there you go. Chris said the pods are going shit because of the sheer demand for the pods.
Yeah, well, it's true. I've had this pod on it. Husband, when did you get me this? 3 weeks? So 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I've had the last a good while, to be fair.
Yeah, it's lasting all right. I mean, this has got my CBD in it, but yeah, it's lasting fine.
However, cheese.
So Melody saying Cadbury cream egg covered in thick chocolate mousse rolled in either chocolate curls, chocolate biscuit crumbs, or Milo. Well, that's chocolate overload.
It sounds really good, and I'd probably be able to have a few bites, but I always struggle with cream eggs. I find them too sickly.
Super sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find them too sweet.
There's just too much icing.
Yeah. I like the chocolate part, but the inside bit I can only take a wee bit of because it's just too sweet and sickening.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll always have one at Easter because you sort of have to, but like one a year is good enough for me.
Yeah. I love Easter eggs. See the chocolate that they make the Easter eggs with? It always tastes different. It always tastes so good.
It depends though, because if it's Nestle, I find it tastes cheap and nasty.
Oh no.
Like a Cadbury's one is good.
It's a Cadbury's one.
Yeah, I always get a Lindt one.
Saying Melanie saying I'll take Emily's share if she doesn't want it.
I could just use Hollow X for you if you want. Oh, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
There you go.
There's just there's a lot of icing. Like I struggle with stuff that's really, really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big chocolate fan really.
I'm a total chocoholic. I love my chocolate, but
I'm more of like a wine gums or a gummies kind of.
Yeah, I do like a wine gum. Yeah, I do like a wine gum.
Oh, Ferrero Rocher, now you're talking.
My favourite are the Lindor. Lindt.
Yeah.
I love those.
That's what I get. That's what I get for Easter. I get the Lindt egg. Because that chocolate is just incredible.
Isn't it? It's the best.
Oh.
I always bought my daughter an Easter present rather than chocolate. Yeah, I did with mine when the kids were little, Alan, because you know what I mean, they used to get so many eggs off everybody else. I used to buy them a wee present instead of chocolate. It used to all crack up because with us having 4 kids, there was one year I counted up there was 26 Easter eggs in the house between them all. And there was like no way am I letting all this chocolate be peeling them off the ceiling. So I broke it all up and made crispy cakes and all sorts of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just to try and get rid of it.
Oh, have you seen the cheese Easter eggs? I am up for that.
Yes, I quite like the look of that.
I am up for that.
I think the older I've got, the more savoury my palate's become. I prefer savoury things rather than sweet stuff.
I always have.
But you know what I mean? I can have stuff that'll last, that'll sit in my side drawer or whatever for a long time until I take the notion for it now.
Yeah, I remember one year, you know, a lot of supermarkets do like Easter raffles, don't they, for charity and that kind of thing. Yeah. I remember one year my mum got the first prize and we must have had like 150 Easter eggs.
Oh, wow.
Like, my mum came back with 8 bin bags full of them.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, what are we going to do with them? But it wasn't like cheap ones either, so there was loads from Thornton's and like Lindt ones, and I was just like, oh, this is too much. So we just ended up giving them away to like everyone. But it was ridiculous. Oh yeah, I could go for a
You could
cheesy
sit
stroke.
there months and months and months trying to work through them. Yeah, it's not an actual egg made of cheese though, is it? Is the egg actually made of cheese? Am I thinking of the same one? All right, it's not. That's not the one I'm thinking of. It's an egg, and inside it you get all different kinds of cheeses.
Oh no, no, no! Like I've seen ones that are actually like cheese eggs.
You are Mrs. Cheese though. You love cheese, don't you?
Some of them are hollow and some of them are solid, and I am like feeling the solid.
Yeah.
I just sit there and eat it, like take chunks out of it and bite it. Like I just sit and eat it.
UK Andy worked at Bourneville for 2 years.
Oh my god.
An egg of cheese. What? That's just wrong, Em.
Oh, I've not seen them. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Oh, put it in the group later. You need one in your life because I do. I might just get one for myself.
Is it like cheddar or something?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So.
Yeah, mature cheddar.
I love
Yeah.
I love the cathedral mature,
Same.
especially on toast.
Oh yeah.
Bit of Worcester sauce on it. You can't beat it.
Yeah, there's a farmer's market.
I've done it yet, and I'm starving.
I know. A farmer's market where I used to live though, they do a really, really nice strong mature cheddar with rock salt. Best. It's the best. You know, it's that strong that it gets your jaw.
Yeah, makes you go.
Yeah. Best cheese. Best cheese. It's always like a sort of Christmas present. My mum will always get it in for me at Christmas because that's when they go to the market. Oh, it's the best.
I quite often do it with the kids. We have picnic dinners at the weekend. We'll have like film nights and that, and we just do like a picnic dinner. So I just fill the coffee table, and it's all different cheeses and patties and different breads and crackers and fruit and everything. Do you know what I mean? And we just sit and we munch on all that, all the different continental meats and everything. It's great.
Yeah, Chris, that's the cheese I'm talking about.
Wubba wubba wubba. I really want to see you do that to see how that actually works. Wubba wubba wubba.
You can come in and do it later.
I know.
Doesn't eat bacon but will eat a cheese egg. Liz, it's posh people food, lol. Fuck off.
I really miss going to individual shops for my groceries. Well, yeah. Still have that here a wee bit. I don't. I do a lot of my shopping online now. I just get deliveries brought in because I struggle. So
we do our best. Like we go to local butchers and stuff for the meat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's harder now.
It is. It's much harder. The farmers market. I know.
Farmers market.
When I lived in Yorkshire, I used to shop in the farmers market every Tuesday, and it was epic. I loved it.
But yeah, going to a proper butcher's for the meat just makes a world of difference. Like you can taste it. It's just
It does. It does.
But they do like a lot of in the summer they do a lot of barbecue platters, and they just like they marinate chicken in like loads of different ways for you, already prepared and everything.
So good.
It's the best.
I'm really hungry. Going to stop talking about it.
I know, same.
I'm like, oh my god, my in the kitchen and I can't eat it for another hour and a half.
I haven't even got any food to eat, so I think we're getting takeaway.
Ordered a takeaway before I come online. Because I'm starving.
I'm hungry.
And also, anyway, if you had a wee look at what the items I put up on the bitches group this week, there was just a couple that I put up.
I will have done. I'll have to refresh.
There was, I put a couple up today, but the one that interested me was the new Aspire.
Oh, the stealth.
Yes.
Hmm.
Husband, I'm gonna hold on.
I love how when you look at the picture, there's barely any difference between the standard version and the TPD version.
Right, babe, I've just said, oh god, I'm such a fanny. I've just shut stuff down I wasn't supposed to. Anyway, I've sent you a picture of what we're talking about. It's the Aspire K1 Stealth 1000 mAh 12-watt mouth to lung starter kit. And it comes with a K1 Plus standard version, or there's the TPD version. It's a side by side.
There's literally no difference.
No, there's not. There's really not. I mean, it's quite a while since I've seen a side-by-side mod come out.
Hmm.
Right now I've lost my chat. Where the hell? Right. Just excuse me, guys, because I've had lots of painkillers and the brain is not functioning today.
Feel it.
Eh? Yeah, VC message. Right, okay, now I've done that and I've lost my chat and I need to fucking start again. Just carry on without me while I sort myself out.
Not much to really carry on now at the moment. But no, it's good.
Oh, but what do you think? I mean, the last time I saw a side-to-side kit like that was maybe about 18 months ago.
Yeah, it looks alright actually. You know what I'm like with.
Thing is, I think people have moved. I know it's mouth along and all the rest of it, right? But I think people have moved past the side-to-side kits because it means that you're so limited. Do you know what I mean? You can only use that tank in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Been such a that, and then that.
Oh, I think Liverpool might have just scored because I heard a shout in the other room.
Okay.
So I was, what the fuck was that noise? And I think they must have. I'm intrigued actually. I'm gonna have a look.
Okay, it's the first one that I'm talking about.
Oh no, they didn't. Southampton did. Ah.
Oh, that'll be more.
Ah. Oh, that's really funny.
Now it's time to see things.
That's really funny.
Back. I'm back Irish.
I could not give any less of a shit. Oh, it is 1-1.
Past that. It's time to put it on the screen now, guys. It's 1-1. Liverpool just scored. Right, okay, there you go. I don't know, I think we kind of moved past it.
Yeah.
It might be good as a starter kit.
I think that's what they've aimed it
Yeah.
at, I think. But, yeah.
Because I like Aspire stuff. I think Aspire stuff's pretty good. So I'll be interested to see what people think of it when it comes out. It's just this, you know, you can't swap out the tank on it. That kind of annoys me. I like to be able to mix and match and move my stuff around.
Yeah, I suppose it's less of a problem for like a starter though.
Yeah.
Because I suppose when they want to move up to higher wattages or whatever, sorry, that was a fly, higher wattages or whatever, they'll just upgrade anyway.
Oh, that's true.
But,
I mean, we all did, didn't we?
Yeah.
We all did. Okay, Olga would like to hear some recommendations for a stock coil mesh tank that is easy on the wallet and super on the flavour side. There's a good couple out there, Olga. This one, I don't have the bubble glass on this, but it is very good. It's the Crown 4 with the mesh coils in it.
Freemax all the way.
Yeah, the Freemax Pro I think is the one that everybody raves about, that, and the Falcon. And there's the new Falcon King as well.
Yeah. Or if you don't like that one that's sort of dodgy, there's the metal one as well.
Yeah. You can always sort. But I mean, I really like the Falcon tank. I never had a Freemax, but I really like the Falcon. The Falcon's a great tank.
I swear by the Freemax.
Yeah. I mean, Bunny's got both, and Bunny prefers the Falcon over the Freemax. But I know I prefer the Freemax over the Falcon, so I think it's all personal taste.
Yeah, to be fair, like they're pretty neck and neck, and they're pretty, well, from what I've used, similar on flavour.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The Crown one is very good. It is very good, and with the mesh coils in, you know, it does make a big difference. I need to get a bubble glass for this, but
yeah, wait for your mod to keep falling over.
I've been very impressed by it, and the coils last and last and last. I mean, I've got that at Christmas, and I'm on my second coil.
Wow, fair enough.
So yeah, they're really good on the coils.
Yeah, and with Chris, he says Mesh Pro all day, quad coils though.
Yeah. So yeah, it just depends on. It's worth shopping about because I mean the Falcon and the Freemax are kind of older than the Crown, so you might be able to pick something up, a good deal or something on one of them, especially with the Falcon King just coming out as well.
Ask Chris and you get 10% discount.
Yes, you do.
BOE 10.
Yes. Message Chris. His website is on the group, guys. I have bits and I'm pissed that the paint is coming off it so badly. Can anyone recommend a decent tank for size, flavour and affordability? You just use standard coils though. I still swear by the Cleto 120. I still swear by it. It's a great tank. You get plenty of juice in there. The coils last. So yeah, for me it would be a Cleto 120.
Yeah, I swear by the UL Valerian as well.
Yes, that is a good tank. Yeah, that is a good tank.
That was my fave, but it's such a pain because I smashed the glass on mine and I just cannot for the life of me seem to find a replacement glass for it.
Really?
That's the only problem, but it's such a good tank.
Yeah, so Melanie, I think, like the Baby Prince, it's smoked, you know what I mean? And there's been a lot of talk about the coils, the smoke coils being very dodgy. Apparently you have a bubble blast.
I do, I forgot about that.
I got you one specially.
You did, I remember.
Why
didn't I put? Oh, I didn't put it on because I couldn't actually find the tank because it had been that long between smashing the glass and finding one that I don't know where I put it.
Hey Lethal, welcome in, darling.
I'm going to find that later.
Yeah, there you go. No saying the Cleto 120 is epic as well. And again, it's a bit of an older tank, so you'll be able to pick up a good deal. Get in touch with Chris. BOE 10.
Yep.
Yeah, the Freemax Mesh Pro is good for flavour, says Pasty. It is. So Mel just want to know if you stock either of them, Chris. I'm sure he'll be able to get you one. So yeah, so we'll have a look at the other wee item that I put up. I mean, it's
yeah, Chris has just said actually he's got Mesh Pros in for £28 and that comes with three glasses.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the other picture, if you don't mind, husband, if we can have that up, it's the Geek Vape Solo, the 100-watt kit with the Cerberus tank.
I think I missed that one. Hang on, I'll find it. Oh yeah.
I just put it up a few years ago. Most people have seen it, but I thought let's put it up and have a wee look.
The tank looks really squat.
It does, doesn't it?
Like it's been shortened but fattened.
Yeah. It does. I mean, in the picture, they've obviously got the bubble glass on it and the straight glasses beside it. But what about the mod? What do you think? Is the day of single battery mods done?
It's not even that. It just doesn't look any different from the others. That's the thing. Like, it looks exactly the same. It's even got the stitching.
Yeah.
Surely it's just... Oh, I don't know.
I
don't know.
Maybe it's just me, but I mean, granted, you know what I mean, the 21700s and 700s are going to give you more battery life, but I just don't see the point in single battery mods now. I don't.
No.
No, it's not when you can get like a double battery that's of a size that you and I can hold comfortably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not going to have that hassle of constantly changing, and I really like that. Or do you, husband? Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, so it fixes the issues of the battery life from the normal Aegis Mini. Yeah, that's true. I can understand why people would be drawn to it.
Yeah,
For me personally, I don't think it would suit. I would rather have a double.
It's just one of those things. Like, is there really any point? Like, you released the Mini, you got enough money from that, surely. Why not come up with something different?
Was the Mini not? The Mini had a lot of problems, if I remember right. The Mini had a lot of problems with the battery life because it was LiPo, was it not? Am I thinking wrong? I thought the Mini was a LiPo pack, and that's why they've brought this out so that it's an external. Maybe I'm wrong. Single battery mods are mainly for beginners and mouth to lung vapors, as the battery life of them is just the same as a dual battery mod for modern stock power tanks. That's true, Andy. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, but it's just been. I feel like they're flogging a dead horse with that one.
Let's just Tony B make it. I don't know. I mean, I think the Aegis is a really good mod. Zan's got one.
Yeah.
It's a really good mod. They're sturdy and, you know, they do what they're supposed to do. Okay, I could be wrong, but I'm sure they said it was a 2,200 mAh battery, but someone tested it, it came out like 1,800 mAh. Yeah, I think you might be right with that, Si. Yeah, Chris is using his Aegis Legend now, so Zan, that's what he's been using constantly since he got it. So yeah, no, it was just interesting. I mean, I know that they've got to bring these other options out for what will suit other people, but me personally, I just know.
Actually, Chris, speaking of, bring your Aegis in here, please.
She needs something else to vape, Chris. She's only on her wee pod.
Depends what's in it. If it's shit,
She was running around like a blue arse fly. She was like a pocket rocket running around trying to find something to vape before the show.
I can't find my Caliban. I don't know where it's gone. It'll be somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah. I lose track of where I put things a lot.
That's not good, darling. Tidy place, tidy mind.
Yeah, well, I don't really often have the time for that.
But then again, you are working, so when you're not working, you want to just be relaxing in bed.
Exactly. I just,
She knows everything I own. It's her job. Just ask Zan, I did the same.
And with the pug as well, that now has to go out for walks all the time. So.
That's true. The amount of times I've dropped my legend from the cab is unreal and it still works. Yeah, Ronnie, mind Zan ran over Vix with the Scooby, and there was only a couple of wee marks on it.
Do you like it when I steal your things?
Right out the box, yes, we did. Remember the night you opened one, you went, oh, all of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to steal stuff. It's my job.
Oh, thank you,
Wow.
Saint. That's amazing, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Saint's just gifted subs to everybody, guys, to 5 of you. So thank you so much, Saint. You're a wee star, darling. So yeah, so the other things that I've been putting in the group that I was wanting to talk about a wee bit is the Gottlieb leaving the FDA. I put an article up today about how his parting shot with the FDA is that he wants to ban pods now.
Wow.
Chris, I've just seen your message. I'll talk to you after the show about it. Tandy! Hello, wife!
Hello!
So yeah, this is a guy, I mean, he's going to spend more time with family. We all know he was a puppet. But yeah, his parting shot is that he wants to have pods banned as well.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and the interim caretaker of the FDA is the head of the American Cancer Society. I was reading a wee article about him yesterday, and I think he's going to be even worse than Gottlieb. I think, you know, Vic had said a while ago, there's a carrot and the stick, and now the stick's coming. And I think very much it's going to be a case of that, because I think our friends in America are pretty much done. Yeah. Order all your DIY stuff now, guys.
Yeah, it seems to be going that way.
It's very worrying for them.
Chris, I wasn't joking. Please bring on your mod.
Look at that face. How deny that face, Chris? Come on.
I know.
Can we just ban Gottlieb? I know exactly, Chris, right? Exactly.
That would be good.
Yeah, it would be. Well, I mean, he's disappeared now, but I think it's only going to get worse. It's worrying, and yet on the other hand, The other article that I put in the bitches today was from the House of Lords. It was the tobacco harm reduction was getting debated in the House of Lords today. I need my last teaser, buddy.
Too right, I'd eat your last Malteser.
Well, I had 2 of them last night. They were really good. So House of Lords, guys. I'll put the article in the bitches group if you want to go in and have a look.
Hang on, I have to admit something here. I did eat a last Malteser, buddy, not gonna lie. I'm sorry. You probably hasn't noticed, but I did eat it.
Oh.
I'll get you some more, I promise.
Oh.
Oh god.
Oh god, he's come.
You got my last Malteser bunny.
Yeah?
You eat everything and steal everything I have. They're nice. You even let my pack of fucking corns.
I did warn you about the corns.
You don't even like corns?
I do like corns. See you later.
Well, now I've got to find them out. Now I'm going to go and find a charity I've got. Now I need someone's hat. I'm going to get a spare snapback and put it outside and sit and hope for spare change. That coil's dead in there. I didn't bring any coils home for it. I think I got my vapor out plonker. I don't use the tears as juice. Or I'll leave it at the shop. I think I'll have it at the shop.
You can have this back in the sec.
No.
Have this back in a second. Stop your
I'm
moaning.
not putting that in this one.
But yeah, I ate them. That's funny. Oops.
They're really good though. They're so tempting. You can't not.
Exactly, and I knew it was there, and it was calling my name.
No, it wasn't.
It was. It's been there for weeks.
No,
So,
this is
it was there. I was saving it.
Oh, thank you, boss.
Charged either.
Thank you, Balls.
Mm.
Thank you, darling.
You can have it. Sorry.
Yeah, so as I was saying, this article in the Lords, the tobacco harm reduction was getting debated today, and Baroness Blackwood. I'm going to give you a couple of quotes from it, guys.
Coil's gone? I did tell you that. Sorry.
Is he getting left with nothing to vape now?
No, I gave it back. I literally only wanted a bit.
Chris, you'd be as well just staying in the room and sharing your mod. So Baroness Blackwell.
Okay.
Baroness Blackwood failed to respond to the subject of snus, but did highlight that vaping has proved to be an effective means of quitting smoking, which is why we encourage this route through the Tobacco Control Plan and will continue to do so. So that was a quote from Baroness Blackwood. But in the same debate, Errol Cathcart then added his own story. 5 years ago, I smoked 50 cigarettes a day, then I took up vaping and have not had a puff of tobacco since. Should the government not do more to encourage smokers to switch to vaping? So it just shows you, you know, in comparison to the FDA and what the Americans are having to deal with, this is what we've got over here. I think, that's very positive sounding. Although, history-wise, Baroness Blackwood doesn't tend to know an awful lot of what she's talking about. She's contradicted herself a number of times and been shown up to not really know what she's talking about. But the fact that they're approaching it as very pro-vaping can only be good. What's he doing?
I don't fucking know. Thank you for the 100 bits.
Okay, thank you.
You're passing. Thank you for the 1,000. Whoa.
Thank you so much. Guys, this is amazing. I really appreciate it.
What's up now?
It's just me rolling.
It's just me rolling. Fuck off.
I have a freak out.
Are you on Chris's site, Melanie? Sorry, Melanie. Melinda.
Uh-oh. Chris, are you sure your license for your website hasn't been taken away?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Melinda said she can't find anything.
Oh, no, I know what they're saying. They're joking.
Right, okay, so Leto's saying this new acting commissioner has 2 big pharma companies of his own, and yet he's the current director of the National Cancer Institute. Yeah, I mean, he is. But then the same was with Gottlieb. Everybody thought that Gottlieb was great because he was in the industry.
Yeah, the license for the website is taking the piss from the video he put up.
I thought you would start me. Well, you'd start me. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that, that it's going to get better for us? Let's talk about the B word, right? we're all supposed to be having Brexit next week. Or the 22nd of May, whenever they decide to make their mind up or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is something that they'll be looking at again? And will it benefit us?
We can only hope so. Then again, I think people have realised that the TPD didn't work. Like,
yeah,
they realised that they fucked up and the TPD had absolutely zero impact on anyone. So I think it'll go either of two ways. They could really put us up shit creek and just tighten
tax everything to the hilt.
What?
I'll see what I have for you.
Oh. He will leave eventually.
That's alright, he's allowed to come in.
Fine.
It's not, it's my show. It's fine.
If you want my soul, you can have that too.
Love you, babe. Yeah, so I reckon they'll either really, really tighten down on things, and whether that'll be tax everything or ban everything.
Yeah.
Or they'll loosen up and realise that actually maybe the TPD wasn't the best of ideas.
Yeah. Hastings saying that Brexit's now in June, that the government have asked for another extension today, but it's whether or not the EU will grant that extension. That's the thing. I mean, the way things are looking, it's looking like we're going to crash out with a no deal. But let's not go into Brexit. It's mainly just how it's going to affect them. I think the TPD was a good thing. Personally, I don't agree with the 2 mil tanks, and I don't agree with the 10 mil bottle thing. But I think to have some sort of regulation was needed. And I think it's been a good thing in general for the industry in the UK.
Yeah.
I think, obviously we've all found ways around with the bottle shots and all that sort of thing around the 10 mil bit. So, but I'll be interested to see if, going by that article where they're very pro-vaping in the Houses of Lords and the Houses of Parliament, whether that follows through into maybe cancelling out the bits of the TPD we don't like.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, if they do tighten down a little bit, but it depends on what they tighten down on. So if it suddenly becomes regulation to have all the liquids tested and that kind of thing before they're sold, then I am fully behind that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It stops all the bathtub brewers. But in saying that, would that in turn affect DIYers?
No, as in, like, before it's allowed to go into sale. Like, DIYing and stuff sort of is, like, that's sort of on your own back, be it. Like, if you want to make shit, that's on you. But to sell, I believe it would probably cut out all these shitty off licenses selling you a quid bottle of juice and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's either that or once we leave, they're going to tax everything to the hilt, and we're all going to be paying through the nose for stuff. I don't have an issue with paying some tax on things, that way, because at the end of the day, if it's going to regulate the industry and it's going to make sure that people are safe at the end of the day, then that's a good thing. But as long as they don't start all this pushing nonsense that they're doing in the States with 67% taxes and this, that, and the next thing. I mean, Arkansas have brought in a 67% wholesale tax, so they're now having to pay 67% tax on their wholesale. Then they're having to add on the extra tax that they have retail. People are, over there are going to end up having to pay like $14, $50 for 100 ml of juice, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
That's madness.
Okay, so Andy's saying the TPD in this country wasn't changed from what the EU originally wrote, and it was written 45 years ago when vaping was very, very different. 2 mil tanks and 10 mil bottles were the norm, where it isn't now. That's very true, Andy. That's very true. To be fair, some of the budget juices are mostly made in ISO labs. That's also true, Tetley. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's going to change? Do you think Brexit's going to affect us positively or negatively?
Yeah, it's true. Just be glad we aren't in Australia.
That's true, honey. That's true.
That is true.
I mean, we are very lucky in this country with it.
Yeah.
We are. Everybody was all up in arms, remember, before the TPD and TRPR came in. Oh, it's this and it's that. It's not affected how we vape at all. No. I think if anything, there's a lot more DIYers, but it's not really affecting anybody's ability to vape.
No, not at all. The only issue is if they do start tightening down on, stopping nick shots and all that kind of thing, then we really, really are up shit creek.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, they said that you couldn't buy nicotine after it came in, but you can still buy the nicotine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all the loopholes, isn't it? It's whether they close all these loopholes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The UK and New Zealand are two of the leading countries when it comes to vaping advocacy and vapers' right. That's very true. Yep, New Zealand they just done a big U-turn on it, didn't they? There you go, Melinda. Chris has sorted it out for you.
That's a good point, actually, Bill. I think there are too many other things to worry about for much to change for vapors.
This is very true, Bill. Yeah, it's very true. But I mean, obviously, we're just talking about something very specific that's going to affect us.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of shit to sort before they start.
It's a minefield, isn't it? Absolute minefield. And Canada did the huge turnaround as well, Bill. That's right, they did.
I heard, yeah.
And that's great. I mean, New Zealand and Canada are leading the way, with that. And there was an article out this week, the Seychelles have went the other way. They were very pro-vaping and they're now totally banned everything. They've made it illegal.
Really?
Yeah, so it just depends on where you are in the world, doesn't it?
It does, unfortunately.
Nightmare. So we are going to let everybody have a wee comfort break and get your drinks and your vapes topped up and all the rest of it. Our wonderful. Where's your lab coat?
I didn't get one.
Our wonderful Em is going to educate us all.
Right, I'm so underprepared for this. I made notes like 2 weeks ago for this. And then obviously all that stuff happened, so I'm very underprepared.
Don't worry. I'm underprepared every Friday we come on.
This is going to be really interesting.
Okay, three sufficiently stuffed. Hi Gailey, hi Emily, hugs Bunny, hi Ian.
Hi. But yeah, so.
Yes, we all want a lab coat for Em.
Oh Jesus, no, please no.
Oh, I know, Sadie, my head's mince. Thank you, Village. Thank you, my darling.
Thank you.
They're all wanting you in a lab coat. Is this where Peril and Dean adverts come on? Ronnie, I love it.
That's just said what size. I don't know what size. It depends on where you plan on getting it from. I unfortunately have to accommodate the boobs.
Yes, no, we need to get in a lab coat with science tits on it. Definitely.
Oh gosh, right.
I want her in a lab coat, trust me.
It's
That's a
nice.
whole private story there, Chris.
Yeah.
That one with you.
Just don't. Just don't go there.
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Okay, darling, what are we doing?
Okay, so I thought I'd recover a few bits that I did go over in Chris's video. So I assume not all of you had seen it.
Okay.
So I thought I'd cover a few questions that I got asked a little while back. So I was asked, what do the coils do in terms of how safe vaping is and like dry firing cotton? I thought I'd cover popcorn lung and wet lung and a few other bits and pieces.
Cool. Right, everybody put your intelligent heads on.
Right. I apologise if I'm reading a lot. It's because, well, I know what I'm talking about, but at the same time,
You
I
might
have no
have to
idea.
put it into layman's terms for us, but go for it.
No, I did. I sorted all that. So
Girl, see?
got that sorted.
Back in vape and enjoy now.
The only problem is I'm not going to be able to read chat at the same time. So if there are any... Ah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
So someone's going to have to notify me if I have questions.
I will do, darling.
Cool. Okay. So first I will cover the contribution of coils and dry firing cotton.
Okay.
So most common metals that are used in coils are canthal, obviously iron, chromium, aluminium alloy, and nichrome, which is an alloy of nickel and chromium. And obviously with there being metals, you sort of assume that there'll be more metal traces in the e-liquids, which would make sense. You know, you've got metals in your coils, you put your liquids in, so there should be metals in the liquids, which is slightly an issue if you think about it, because obviously you're inhaling this.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that was actually raised was the fact that most metals obviously are in a higher concentration in a tank full of liquid rather than like the bottle of liquid itself. But one of these is actually lead, and as you probably all know, lead is really toxic.
Yes.
It's really toxic. And it's not listed as a component of coils because it shouldn't actually be in them. So it's one of these things that if you get in your coils from reputable places and you buy it from reputable places, you should be good. But if you're buying the cheap stuff and they don't clean these metals properly, that there can be lead traces in your liquids.
That's a thought, isn't it? How many of you have actually thought of that? Especially the builders amongst us, do you know what I mean?
Let's have a look at chat.
Has there actually been any studies done, you know, like just randomly picking up wire and testing them once they've been in liquid to see the proportion of lead and things like that in them? Has there been studies done on that?
I have got one study. It wasn't so much to do with like specifically just getting loads of different brands of wire. It was just sort of done a general across the board, sort of just picking and choosing random tanks and searching. So it wasn't like a specific this wire.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a study. I'll post all the links and stuff
Brilliant.
later because I have got them all here, but I thought it'd be a bit much just to throw out there. But I'll put them in the chat later anyway.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Hey, Bill. Hope you're feeling all right, pal.
And as much as you think that, oh, the coil is what's causing this metal to leach into the liquid, but it could also be the tank itself. Because obviously your tanks are metal.
Yeah.
You've got metal components of your tanks. So it could actually be the tank itself rather than the coil as well.
Okay.
And there hasn't been any studies to determine how much comes from the coil and how much comes from the tank that I have found yet anyway. But yeah, so that
brings into question then the whole clone argument, doesn't it? I mean, do you actually know what you're getting with clones?
Exactly.
Metal bits there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But you've got to remember as well that cigarettes contain loads of metals as well.
Yeah, it did.
Like metal particles, so it's not too much to worry about, but obviously something that should at least make you think of where you're getting your wire from.
Yeah. Andy Summerfield's just said, I thought Aries tested a lot of wires to see what percentages of metals were in them. Aries did do that. He did that.
Perfect.
He did that a couple of years ago, I think, and that is why he only ever used kidney punch wire.
That's really good. Studies like that just don't really very often come up. So the fact that someone we know has done it, then that's amazing. Like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have obviously spoken to him before.
Yeah. No, I did that years ago.
So even though it's something of a concern, there is less metal traces even in these tanks than cigarettes. So it's still better.
Yeah. Well, Richard is asking, does food grade and pharmaceutical grade metals make a difference?
Yes. So food grade and pharmaceutical grade, obviously with pharmaceutical grade, that's sort of across the board. That could be anything from, you know, used in medicines, because there are a few medicines for certain like psychological problems and things that are actually, they use metals to treat. Pharmaceutical grade means it's clean and as pure can get, and similar to food grade, you know, it's the stuff that you use to prepare foods.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it would make a difference.
Yeah.
Your food grade and your pharmaceutical grades are like your top for.
Yeah, Bill Burns saying a lot of the clones are made with inferior materials. If you've ever had a clone that turns your cotton red, for instance.
Yeah.
He's also said a lot of what Aries did is out of date now, and he was planning on having them retested.
Oh, that'd be cool. Give me a shout as to what you find, because that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So, but the difference is, it's all well and good testing, you know, what metals leach into your liquids. But what we don't know is what the impact of those metals are having. So they're trying to develop at the moment something called a biomarker study. And what they do is they track what the metal does to your body, so where it goes and its effect. But they're still trying to find the best way of doing this, because they're not even sure how much of this metal is actually making it into your body. So they've got to try and find a way of tracking it first before they test to see what its effects are.
Right.
So that was that one. I'd love to get in touch with Aries and just to see what he managed to find. But yeah, it's kind of a niche thing. Like, not a lot of people have thought of doing it.
Yeah, I think obviously because he was a coil builder, do you know that way, it was very specific to what he was doing. And Aries has got about 6 degrees or something. He's like super intelligent. So, you know, for him it was an easy enough process for him to be able to do that himself. And yeah, he just wanted to make sure that all the wire he was using was top notch.
Yeah, and so he should. So he should. But no, it's little studies like that, and I mean, even though it's at home or whatever and probably can't be credited as such, little studies like that are just helping, and even, you know, putting it to the attention of other scientists that are interested in this kind of thing, who maybe haven't thought about doing something like that, just to see whether they get the same sort of results, is like, every little helps.
Because the more scientific studies that are done, the more informed we become, you know, and the safer vaping then becomes.
Exactly. And that's the main thing.
Exactly. Bill's saying the worst culprit is Candle. There's huge differences in different brands. Andy Summerfield, if I remember correctly, someone lent him a metal analyzer to do the testing with. Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. Bill has offered he can get the paperwork from my wholesalers for you, Em.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd love to give it a read.
There you go.
So I have a picture for this one, just to help a little bit. So this is the lung diagram. It's really simple.
Okay, when you're ready, husband.
Just for you guys that, you know, don't know as much about physiology.
Yep.
So when you breathe, your air flows into your lungs. Obviously, that's what we use to breathe. But what a lot of people don't know is that there's a lot of ways in which to increase the surface area. So surface area is really, really important when you're breathing. Because your surface area determines how much oxygen you can absorb.
Right.
So it's like the same thing. When you have a cup of tea and you throw a sugar cube in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't dissolve as quick as it would if you just put a spoonful of sugar in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So bigger the surface area, the more oxygen you can absorb. It's a good thing.
Okay.
So the way in which the lungs do this, so obviously you've got your windpipe or trachea.
Mm-hmm.
And this divides into 2 tubes called bronchi.
Yeah.
And these then divide into tons and tons and tons of other little tubes called bronchioles.
Yeah.
And each one of these end in tiny little air sacs called alveoli.
Yeah.
And what these little alveoli do is basically they're just like the little balls, but they're really, really folded.
Yeah.
That way it increases your surface area.
Yeah.
So, where was I? So this is where I was going to with the whole popcorn lung thing.
Okay.
So in popcorn lung, it's the bronchioles that become inflamed,
Right, okay.
and these then become scarred. And this reduces obviously your surface area, because obviously the thicker your bronchioles become, the less oxygen you can absorb through that, because obviously as the thinnest membrane possible will absorb the most oxygen because it's easier to just pass through it.
Yeah.
But the thicker that they are, the harder it is for this oxygen to absorb. And this is why people with popcorn lung become really, really short of breath.
Right.
And it's also similar to a kind of condition called emphysema, which you've probably heard of.
Yeah.
This is something that's also caused by smoking. So emphysema is often a condition caused by smoking.
See, I understand someone's being asthmatic and having COPD.
Yeah.
This has been explained to me by the doctors and whatever as to how my lungs are not functioning properly now. So I understand some of this now. Yeah. You're starting to talk about this and I feel like I want to take a big deep breath.
I know, yeah. And emphysema and popcorn lung as well reduce the elastic properties of the alveoli. So again, this is just stopping this oxygen absorption and again leaving you short of breath. So just a quick background thing for this popcorn lung. So it's given its name from a condition that was found in microwave popcorn factory workers.
Yeah, this is the one that I think a lot of us are aware of, isn't it? They never actually proved that it was a diacetyl, but they didn't disprove it either, did they?
So no, it has been found that diacetyl was what caused it. They've used a lot of animal tests. So they've done it to rats, they've done it to mice, and they've done it to a few other species.
Okay.
But yeah, they've exposed them to diacetyl and checked lung function, and there is a definite link.
Right.
So diacetyl tastes amazing. I mean, super buttery and delicious. I mean, I love butter popcorn, so diacetyl is my friend.
I like it too.
And it's perfectly safe to eat. So if you see it as an ingredient on the back of your microwave popcorn, don't stress, it's fine. The only issue comes is when it's heated and when it's inhaled.
Okay. Well, there's the thing, because cigarettes contain diacetyl.
Yeah.
In massive amounts compared to vaping.
Yeah. And popcorn lung as well has also been linked to another couple of chemicals, so formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. So it's not just diacetyl, but that was the main one, and that's how they basically found this condition. So diacetyl is present in some e-liquids. It is. It's becoming less and less common, but it is still present in a few. I can't name brands. I haven't tested all of them out there, but it is still there in some of them. And this is another reason why I said, if they decide that they're going to test all liquids as a safety measure, post-Brexit, then I'm all for it.
Okay, so let me just give you a couple of the comments that have come up. Melinda's saying, I read somewhere that popcorn lung only develops in certain circumstances.
It's true.
Yeah. Ronnie Campbell, a lot of coal miners got emphysema. They did that, didn't they? It was the coal dust that did that, wasn't it? Kev,
and a fair few asbestos cases as well.
Yeah. Kev has said, should the casters no be getting their lungs out asking for a friend? No. Nice try though. Andy Summerfield, if I remember correctly, it was popcorn factories and fortune cookie factories, and I think that only ever 3 cases made it to court, and it was never proved. Well, Em's just clarified that they have proof that it was. So
yeah.
There we go. Hey Jules, here all done, darling. Yeah, so carry on, darling. I just want to say.
That's fine. Do not let the presence of a little diacetyl scare you. So it's previously been found that cigarettes contain up to 100 times, like 100 times, which is a lot, the amount of diacetyl than most e-liquids. And there's never, ever been a case of popcorn lung diagnosed in a smoker, in which case, why should there ever have been a case of popcorn lung diagnosed in a vapor?
Yeah, I think it's been one of these things where, you know, they've jumped on something to create a scare tactic, haven't they?
Yeah, so, you know, cigarettes, 100 times more diacetyl than e-liquids. No cases, so why would there be one in a vapor? It makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
So don't let this bullshit scare you. Don't let anyone tell you that, you know, vaping or popcorn lung. It's absolute bull. Like absolute. End of story, bull.
Yeah. So Bill Byrne, a lot of brands with have a diacetyl option as well, and to be honest, it usually is better flavour wise. Bill Richard, most dusty situations cause breathing issues, which is why dust masks are important. That's very true, Bill. And Jules here isn't finished, but she's got her glasses on.
So it's not just diacetyl that cigarettes contain, you know, they contain heavy metals, which we discovered before. They can have neurotoxic effects. So they have something called benzopyrene as well, which is a DNA mutagenic, which means it mutates the DNA and can basically cause cancer.
All right.
Acetone and other irritants, and hydrogen cyanide.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, cyanide.
Lovely.
Radioactive polonium, and a few other bits and pieces. So, you know, and vaping contains none of that. None of that.
Melinda, I checked out popcorn long after someone who vapes told me about it. She's an ex-smoker. Her family are all smokers. She was thinking about going back to smoking. She was saying vaping gives you popcorn lung. Well, that's been proven to be, it's been debunked, hasn't it? Totally debunked. So you can send her the proof, Melinda, and say no, you're safer vaping.
100%. And now that the manufacturers are aware that diacetyl is a problem, it's disappeared from a lot of premium liquids now. So, you know, it's going back to, if you get your liquids from reputable and good places, then, you know, it's not something that anyone should be concerned about.
Absolutely. I trust my Stevie.
Yeah, you should trust your Stevie. But yeah, no popcorn lung here.
True. So sorry, Sonic's put a comment in. After 6 months, Matt Ryan shit the bed, fucking pod stuck. Empire is reputable. Yes, he is. If you want to go over to the Empire website and use the code BOE10, you get 10% off, guys.
For all diacetyl-free liquids.
And all diacetyl-free. Andy Summerfield, it all goes back to the fact that Big Pharma are scared of the loss of revenue from healthier people and hire scientists to scare people to not vape. And if people like Grim Green and Scott Bonner have vaped over 11 years, each with 0 side effects. Very, very good point, Andy. Very good point.
Yeah. So another one I thought I'd cover.
You want to show my teeth tonight?
I know, yeah.
It's usually me that does that.
Blame my person. Was wet lung.
Right, okay, this one I'm interested in because I've not read or heard an awful lot about it.
Okay, so this nearly inspired me to make my own one-off video on Chris's channel because I was so pissed off when I read this one morning. So it was all over Facebook, it was all over the news stories, it was doing my fucking head in.
Yeah.
So basically there was a case of a woman that had pneumonia, basically. It was like wet lungs, sort of a form of pneumonia.
Okay.
So.
In there, got the t-shirt. That's why I vape and I don't smoke.
So yeah, basically it's caused by increased fluid into the lungs. And this is what really, really griped me. So this woman blamed the fact that she'd been vaping for 2 weeks on the fact she got this condition called wet lung. Yeah. And this really, really pissed me off. Really, really pissed me off. So basically, they found out that this woman got wet lung because she was actually allergic to something in the e-liquid she was vaping. So quite a few people are sensitive to PG.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people are allergic to certain flavorings and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So basically, it was found that she was allergic to a component of the e-liquid she was vaping, and not actually vaping was causing this wet lung.
But that'll be after the fact that all this publicity has went out that it was vaping and
Yeah.
the usual story.
So this allergic reaction caused irritation and inflammation to the alveoli, and this like affected the water balance. So the alveoli are damp because it's easier to absorb oxygen through something that's damp.
Yeah.
And just this slight irritation just caused fluid to rush into her lungs and cause this pneumonia, this wet lung. So basically, they used this whole wet lung case as a scare tactic in the media.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I remember the story when it came out. And I didn't know a lot about wet lung, but the gist of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it made me cringe. It really did. It made me cringe, and I actually felt really angry myself about it, because it was another one where they were totally misconstruing information to suit their agenda and their story, which we've been fighting for years, haven't we, really?
Yeah. But yeah, to wake up to that one morning, I was like, ah!
Yeah, it's not good. Bill Richards has said, how many vapers have breathing issues that have improved as a result of vaping? Here, me.
Yeah, near on everyone.
I can guarantee you that while I was still smoking and not vaping, I would be in hospital at least 3 times a year, for periods of weeks at a time, with pneumonia, pleurisy, you name it.
Yeah.
Asthma attacks, and my COPD playing up. And since I've started vaping, I have not even had to be put on a nebulizer once.
It just goes to show. Yeah.
It has saved me.
Yeah, my mum was exactly the same. My mum she went from a size 22 to a size 12. She lost just over 8 stone. And obviously she was a lot physically fitter, but she still couldn't go up the stairs without being short of breath.
Was she still smoking?
She was still smoking. And then now, because she found that when she just tried to quit, she put on a lot of weight. So she said, now I'm at the size I want to be, I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
And she switched to vaping. And her breathing has drastically improved. She said within 2 weeks, she could taste food again.
Yeah. So. For me, it was pretty instant, actually. I think it was only a couple of days. I mean, I have put on a massive amount of weight since I started vaping. But with all my health issues, I find it very, very I can't exercise the way that I used to. And for me, it's a choice between, do you know, that we go back to living on coffee and fags and losing a bit of weight, or continue vaping and be healthier in my lungs and my breathing. And it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I think for anyone, it's a fairly easy choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's see what they're saying.
Yeah, let's switch back. I'll actually read them this time.
So, Andy Summerfield, a guy I work with smokes, is a lot younger and fitter than me, and is out of breath a lot quicker than I am. Yeah, it just shows you, though, you know, even as smokers, people would say it to you, but I know I never believed them. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm fine. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. And that devil on my shoulder was like, no, light another fag, light another fag, light another fag. You know what I mean? But it's so true, and I think it's only when you start vaping and you come off the cigarettes you actually realise what a massive impact it was actually having on you physically.
Yeah, definitely. Kev just said I was just a normal guy when I started vaping. Now I have bigger tits than my wife. Any ideas, Castus?
Nothing wrong with big tits.
Bill himself is sensitive to PG as well.
Sorry, say that again, Dan.
Sorry, Bill is sensitive to PG as well.
Yeah. Ronnie, me, I used to weasel like fuck when I went to bed after 3 weeks vaping. The wheezing stopped. Yep, there you go, Ronnie. Her saying, sadly, vaping hasn't helped my breathing. 0.9, but mine is because I have complex hereditary spastic paraparesis. Right, okay. But the fact that you're vaping and not smoking, I would think is still a better thing, and it's better for you, know.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
It will
My
be.
parents hate the fact that I vape. My dad is an ex-smoker, and they say how I used to follow him around and tell him awful smoking statistics. I tell them they have a choice. I can vape or I can smoke. Very true, Melinda. Very true. If I get bigger tits than names, I'm closing the business.
Thanks, babe.
There you go. Okay, Andy's in response to Bill Richards' comment. I find that any more than 30 PG and I get a sore throat really quickly with vaping, which I found tricky when I started vaping nearly 5 years ago when juices were 70–80% PG. Yeah, that's true, Andy. I find that the higher the rate of PG in juices, it affects my skin. I get very, very dry, itchy skin.
Yeah, to be fair, that's why a lot of new starters struggle, because PG is a lot harsher on the throat. It does irritate.
Yeah.
And so obviously with your 70/30s and lower,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting towards obviously a high ratio of PG, and I think that's part of the reason why a lot of starters struggle, because they're coughing all the time. And yes, it's you're coughing up the shit from your cigarettes and that kind of thing, but I think it has somewhat to do with your PG ratio as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people just like, oh, vaping is not for me.
I mean, we very quickly changed from 50/50 juice, to the higher VG juices. Gav is saying, I used to take my daughter to the park and throw a ball of frisbee about when I was smoking. I'd have to stop every 10 to 15 minutes. 6 months after starting vaping, we went and I was fine for 4 hours straight. Yep, there you go, it just shows you.
Yeah.
Melinda, I vape because when I spiral with my depression, I self-harm. Smoking gave me something to do to stop myself doing that. I like vaping because it's healthier, tastier, and the community has helped me so much with so many issues. Good on you, Melinda. Village Vapor saying he gets stomach ache with anything with PG above 60. 60 VG, 40 PG, he gets stomach ache. Yeah, and I know a lot of people get stomach problems and diarrhea and things like that with it as well, don't they? It's not.
Yeah. There's quite a few people actually with nickel sensitivities as well.
Yeah.
Quite a few. A lot of people I know have to use stainless steel only.
Yeah. 50/50 used to tear my throat out. I almost went back to smoking, says Liz. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the final thing I thought I'd cover just quickly was this whole budget versus premium liquids.
Yes. Good.
So with your premium liquids, obviously, they're from well-known, reputable companies, and they come with the assurance that they're made in clean rooms in ideal conditions. With your budget, you don't get that assurance. You don't really know where they're made. It's not regulation to have them tested, so you don't really know what's in them. You don't know what contaminants are in them, so it's just something to be aware of if you're that desperate and go down an off license and get 2 bottles for £1. And premium liquids typically use pharmaceutical or high grade PGVG. Cheaper brands tend to use fit for human consumption grade.
Right.
So it's not quite as high quality, which means, there's more likely to be contaminants in there. It's not as pure. It's just, again, something to consider, especially if you are one of these people that's slightly sensitive to PG. Yeah. Using cheaper PG will have a bigger effect on you guys.
Yeah.
Premium liquids tend to use fresher nicotine as well. It's normally a synthetic nicotine because it tends to be a smoother tasting and more expensive than natural nicotine. Cheaper nicotine tends to be natural or older nicotine, which will have degraded and oxidized, giving it a slightly harsh and peppery taste. So if you ever get, a really, really old bottle of liquid.
I've had that actually, an older liquid, and it was really peppery, and I was like, oh no, the nicotine's gone.
Yeah, so cheaper brands tend to use this older, harsher, pepperier nicotine.
Yep.
And this is why you tend to find that a lot of cheap liquids are tobacco flavoured. Because tobacco flavourings, it's easier to cover the harsher taste of the nicotine.
Right.
And flavourings like diacetyl are more likely to be present in cheaper liquids. because they don't have the rigorous chemical composition testing that premium brands tend to go through.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Noel's got a good point. A lot of budget brands come from the same factories with different labels. I mean, there are white label manufacturers that then.
oh, yeah, and my final point was going to be there are good, cheap brands.
Yeah.
There are. Like, I'm not saying, you know, all cheap liquids are bad. It's just.
That's it. It's good to be educated and be informed, because then you're making an informed decision.
It's just when you hear people, like loads of people, Chris will tell you, people come into Chris's shop going, yeah, I got this vape pen, but I'm not getting on with it. The liquids are the shit. And Chris is like, oh, where did you get it from? He was like, oh yeah, just a shop down the road, just a random off license. And Chris is like, well, the liquids are going to be foul.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
It comes back to, you know, like when people start vaping or switch from smoking, a lot of people do it for different reasons. Some people do it for financial reasons, some people do it for health or whatever. I know personally, right, before the shiny-itis bug hit, but the first time we tried vaping back in 2009, I was horrified at how much Zan was spending on these mods and stuff, and I was like, you're having a laugh, not thinking that I would be spending, do you know what I mean, 3 times as much smoking cigarettes. But for me, the cost was a very, very big issue until I eventually, do you know what I mean, the light bulb went off and went a fanny gale. But I think, you know, the cost of things, and people, especially if they're stopping smoking to save money, are going to look for the cheapest available option without maybe consciously taking these things into consideration. It's
true, but they should also be aware that obviously it's going to cost them more in the long run, because they'll end up realising that what they've got shit and having to replace it. So it's better to get something. I'm not saying, you know, go out and spend, you know, 100 odd on something amazingly fancy. Just, you know, get yourself something reasonable.
Yeah.
And get yourself some good liquids from a good brand, and you'll be set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Liverpool have just scored. Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't just me that heard that. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's the thing though, isn't it? I mean, that's what I love about, you know, the vaping, is because there is now, especially with so much on the market, there is something that will suit everybody, and everybody's way of vaping and what satisfies them. I mean, Zan and I have spent fortunes, and I mean fortunes, on e-liquid, trying to find, and I'm sure everybody else has as well, do you know what I mean, trying to find the liquid that you like, and premium liquids, and do you know, and that's why it's absolutely amazing now, because we get all our juices practically from Stevie. Stevie does all our juices from us, because he makes them to suit us.
Yeah.
Do you know that way? And that's what I think the beauty of this is. Do you know that way, that everybody can find something that suits them? It's like I'm now using tags. I can't believe I'm using an RTA. I always swore that I'll never use RTAs, they're pish. Do you know that way? And now I'm using one, and it's like, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then the final thing, I thought I would cover the ingredients of e-liquids and how safe they are independently.
Yes, good stuff.
So you've got your PG, and when I say, you know, low toxicity, it is low toxicity. A lot of people are sensitive, but it's still non-toxic. These side effects, you know, aren't gonna damage you a lot in the long run. So it's a bit different if you're completely allergic.
Yeah.
You know, peanut allergies and that kind of thing are deadly, and PG allergies are no different, but low toxicity. And they're also actually used in asthma inhalers. So PG is used in asthma inhalers. So, you know, it can't be that.
No, absolutely not.
And VG has even lower toxicity. So VG is used in all sorts of things. Mostly like cough medicines and that kind of thing. That's a lot of the base for a lot of cough medicines.
Right.
It's used in a lot of food and in a lot of cosmetics as well.
Right. Okay, so let me ask you then, right? People all finger test the juice.
Yeah.
When I first started vaping, I was like, oh my god, no, you don't do that. You're not going to take... Do you know that way? Actually put that in your mouth.
Yeah.
Is it safe?
Yeah. Like, you could drink it without nicotine in it, you could drink it if you wanted to. You wouldn't, but you could. Because the only things that are in there are your PG, which is used in asthma inhalers and that kind of thing anyway. And depending on the ratio, there's not a lot of that in there anyway. VG, which you down every time you have a cough.
Yep.
And flavourings,
Yep.
which you eat in food.
I mean, I do know. Do you know that way? I don't know, and I don't think twice about it. But
yeah,
at the beginning, I was kind of like,
yeah, we have a lot of people say the same thing. But yeah, you eat cakes that are flavoured vanilla, chocolate.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mint, you know, orange, lemon. It's absolutely no different to having a flavoured cough syrup, really.
Good. Okay.
So then your nicotine, if added, is a hypertensive. So it does increase blood pressure and heart rate, but so does, you know, your morning cup of coffee.
Absolutely. I mean, nicotine and caffeine are very similar, aren't they, in the way that they're stimulants?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually found that caffeine increases your blood pressure and heart rate for longer compared to nicotine. The same dosage. Yeah. So your cup of coffee is more likely to harm you than having a vape in the morning.
That's fine. I'm still not giving up my coffee.
No, me either.
I love it.
I know, yeah. So
I
then,
love my husband and my children too much.
so then your final thing is your flavourings. And like I said before, provided they come from good sources and are food grade, they're absolutely fine, nothing to be worried about. The only slight problem is obviously with your flavourings, they're deemed safe to consume, not safe to inhale.
Okay.
So some e-liquids do have a slight amount of carcinogen, so cancer-causing chemicals, but that's purely through the heating of your flavourings.
Okay.
Rather than, you know, anything else. But this is trace and minimal compared to smoking. So this is why they put this 95% label on vaping rather than 100% safer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just because we don't know the effects of a lot of these.
Pasty's asking, what about menthol and Coolada? So,
menthol and Coolada is a similar thing. So, you know, when you've got a cold and you use Vicks Vapor Rub, that's got like your menthol agents and that kind of thing in there. You absorb it through your skin. It's a similar sort of thing. So it's deemed safe for medicines and absorption through the skin, but again, not so much through your vaporization of it. So it's another one of those things that, you know, you take with a little pinch of salt, and that's why there's this 95% label on it rather than your 100%.
Absolutely. No said menthol and Coolada are evil. Melinda's asking, could you do another one of these in regards to possible harmful effects of vaping on passive vapors such as children?
Yes, gladly.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fine. Bring me a message and remind me, because I'll be stuck in a couple of weeks for stuff to do. So yeah, that's fine. And if anyone else has any questions as well, like, feel free to message me.
Bill has made the point PG hasn't been used in inhalers for a while and is still used it's still used in some.
I'm guessing they scored again.
PG is still a component in my inhalers that I use, Bill.
Yeah, it's still used.
Yeah, so maybe some of them removed it, but I know not all of them have. Bill's saying, I wish people would learn the difference between sensitive and allergic. Absolutely, Bill. I mean, there's a big movement, I think, recently in society with that. A lot of my family have celiac disease, and that means they are totally allergic to gluten and wheat. Okay, whereas society now, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm allergic." And then they're maybe not allergic, they're maybe just, it doesn't agree with them a wee bit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very fine line, isn't it? I mean, I know that it doesn't agree with me, I end up bloated, but I don't have celiac.
Yeah.
That way, so it's like...
The difference for me is sensitivity. You know, you get the odd unwanted side effect. You know, you might come out in a little bit of a rash.
Mm-hmm.
Or like with PG, you might cough a little bit more, you might get a slightly sore throat. So, you know, it's nothing
that's
too concerning.
Yeah.
To me, allergic is if you use it or consume it, you know, it's a life-threatening issue. That makes a difference. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, Emily. Very informative. Proof positive that vaping is much better for people. Yep, exactly. Tandy's saying, look here, I'm sensitive and allergic. You're allergic to hugs, you. Hey, Slarty, how you doing, darling? So yeah, thank you so much, darling. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. As always, you educate us. So yeah, Melinda's asked about, the second-hand vapor. If anybody has anything that they would like to address or to cover with the science part of it, then just send a wee message on the group or send one of the bitches a message, and we'll let them know, and we'll try and get it covered for you when she's doing her science bit. She's so 3-1 top of the league. Thanks for the science, gorgeous. He's celebrating. Yeah.
He wasn't even watching any of that.
Happy to answer any questions that you have and allay any fears. So yep, soundproofing is needed, Irish.
I guarantee he did not watch any of that. I guarantee that. It doesn't necessarily have to be vaping related either. Yeah, I got asked an interesting question by Jelly Baby the other week, actually, about whether we have cure for cancer, which was an interesting one. It took me about an hour to answer, but I got there eventually.
Liz wants to know, do we start the message with dear science tits? That'll do it. That'll do it. That is an interesting one. Is there a cure for cancer? I personally believe there has been a cure for cancer.
Right. I'll get the long message up and just read it out, because my message was, I think I answered it pretty well in the message. Okay. Rather than trying to blunder my way through it. Right. So basically the way I explained it was every single cancer is unique, because the genetic mutation, which is what cancer is, can happen anywhere, and we have 3 billion bases in our genes. So a lot of people don't know our genes are made up of 4 bases. Okay. I'm just going to shorten them A, T, C, and G.
Okay.
And these pair up, obviously, and that's what hold the helix together in your DNA. If any of those bases change, that can cause cancer.
Okay.
So a lot of mutations don't do anything, but some do cause cancer. And basically these changes can happen at any point in the 3 billion that we have. And there can be combinations of mutations as well. So it doesn't have to just be one. You can have, 100, 1,000. The number of different cancers are limitless, basically.
Yeah.
So it's really, really unlikely that any cancer is the same. So like I've explained before in a few different videos and things, you can have 1,000 patients with breast cancer, and all of them have a slightly different breast cancer.
Right, okay.
Just because it depends on which change that they have. So the type of mutation that it is will determine how aggressive the cancer is and how it responds to the treatment.
Yeah.
And this is why some people will die and survive from the same type of cancer.
Right, okay.
So we do have drugs that can cure cancers. Like, that's a given. We do.
Yeah.
The issue comes to what cancer it cures. Because what will work for some person won't work for another.
Right, okay.
So if you have a certain type of cancer that will respond to a treatment, great. But if you have the same cancer that doesn't, then a slight problem.
Right, okay.
So the only way, realistically, that we can cure any cancer ever is to genetically screen every patient, find out what change has gone on, find a drug that will work for that change, and then give it to them.
Right, okay.
Which is ridiculously unreasonable.
It's not a universal one fix for all.
No,
right.
Not at all. And the problem is time and money.
Yeah.
So if you have a mutation that hasn't been seen before, there'll be no treatment for you. And it's a race against the clock as to whether scientists will be able to come up with one before you die.
Yeah.
Or not. So it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. And the money is ridiculous.
I mean, I've been through it over the last 5 years. My brother has been fighting cancer for 5-6 years now. 2 types of cancer. and he's actually lost half of his face and his nose and everything to it. It's quite horrific what he's been through and what he's continuing to go through with all the side effects from the treatment and things like that. So I know that it's not a one size fits all type scenario. But I do think that there have been cures out there that have been kept quiet.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Specific for certain, cancers.
I agree with you.
It's a real sticking point with me about where we are in this country with cannabis oil and the medicinal cannabis, because I know, and I've seen it with my eyes. I've got a girl I went to school with, a friend, who was diagnosed with a brain tumour about 18 months ago. She was given 3 months to live, and she started paying £2,000 a month to import the highest cannabis oil from Colorado, and she's still with us.
Yeah.
And the brain tumour's actually shrunk in size. And she was told that there was nothing more that they could do, obviously, because that's the legal situation in our country.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's definitely suppressed is the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Kev. That's exactly the word I was looking for. There's definitely been things out there, that aren't as promoted as they should be. Let's have a wee look and see what people have been saying.
So we are talking billions of designer drugs for every cancer type, yes.
Yeah.
If you want to cure cancer once and for all, yes.
So, if that's the case, how is the cervical cancer vaccination effective?
Okay, so basically there's a link between a virus called the human papillomavirus, or HPV. You've probably all heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been linked to cervical cancer. It's not this vaccination isn't a cure-all. Women that have had the vaccination can still get cervical cancer. It's just a way of reducing the likelihood. So it's not you won't get it. It's you're less likely to.
It's a kind of a preventative measure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, because obviously we've got a daughter. She's had to go through and have that. That vaccination recently.
It's basically I had it myself.
Right.
But it's a similar sort of thing.
And I was old.
It's a similar sort of thing as we know smoking can cause cancer. So if you stop smoking, you reduce your likelihood of. It's the same thing. The HPV vaccine limits your exposure to the virus. So.
Yeah, Bill, I've got that genetic mutation as well. Bill says he's a genetic mutation. It wipes out brains. Mine went years ago. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, darling. So how many cancers are the product of viruses that we can vaccinate against? I mean, that's an infinitesimal answer, is it not?
Yeah, that's a really, really tough one. So the HPV is the only one that we've properly found a link with so far. But yeah, it's limitless, really. I mean, viruses mutate so quickly, so quickly, which is why when you have a viral infection, it's so hard to treat.
Yeah.
So the issue again, not only is how many cancers are linked to viruses, it's more that the rate of the viruses mutating. Can we really treat them? It's kind of it's a hard one.
Yeah, it is. Bammers, going back to the nickel thing with Bammers, even for me, it seems the minor percent of Ni in stainless steel won't bother me. I will not try things simply listed as nickel because I know I have a blistery reaction to jewellery with nickel in it. So yeah, there you go. We didn't have injections, we had blow darts in my day. Nasty. I know the feeling. Okay, are you more likely to get cervical cancer if you had underage sex? And Jules?
No, is the answer to that. No. Underage has nothing to do with it. So it's more to do with your amount of sexual partners, because the more sexual partners you have, the higher the likelihood you are to get the virus.
Okay.
So it's the same with an STD. Underage has nothing to do with it. It's whether you're rather promiscuous.
Okay. So I guess that's why we'll never have a cure for the common cold either. Each time you get a cold, it's a different strain or mutation from the last one.
Exactly, and that's why they have to remake the flu vaccine every year.
Yeah.
So with the flu vaccine, it's really, really cool how they do it. Actually, they predict what they reckon the virus is going to be and develop a vaccine for it in advance.
Right.
It's really, really weird. Like
I used to have the flu vaccine every winter because being asthmatic and COPD, I had to have it. I have not had it for the last 3 years, I think. Since 3 years since I've been vaping. I just made the choice to not have it and not put that into my system because I felt that with vaping and everything else, I mean, I very seldom even have to use my inhalers nowadays. And I felt that when I was having the vaccine, it was giving me that head cold type feeling that you get sometimes. So I made the choice not to have it, but that was just a personal thing for me. If I was still in the position that I was in with, before when I was smoking, then yeah, I would be having it. No even two thoughts about it.
Yeah, that's true. Even cancers mutate whilst you're having treatment for them. So cancers are a bit of a bastard. So whilst you're being treated for them, some cancers randomly decide, oh, I'm going to mutate randomly.
Yeah.
I'm no longer going to respond to this treatment. Yeah, it's really, really tough to do.
Yeah, because Zan and I, do you remember there was a big, excuse me, remember there was a big outbreak years ago, the swine flu, and Zan and I both got the swine flu. And him and I, we had to farm the children out to grandparents. Honestly, the two of us were ill, absolutely ill for about 4 weeks with it. Yeah, so it was totally different from anything I'd ever had.
Yeah.
Question
on VG, does it have any component of corn at all? I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to have a look. Remind me. Message me. I will have a look.
Okay, Pasty's saying there was 2 types of flu vaccine this year, one for the elderly and one for the at-risk group. It wasn't swine flu, Liz, swine flu. That's a whole other thing.
That's another good point. Actually, a hospital in Leicester called Glenfield was like one of the only places in England to have one of the ECMO machines, for the real sufferers, the bad sufferers of swine flu. Yeah. She's down the road from me.
We were quarantined. Our doctor quarantined us and was like, get your children out the house, don't come out the house. And I don't think we actually came out the house for about 6 weeks.
Mad.
It was ridiculous. It was great. I lost about 3 stone. Couldn't eat, couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I got the flu vaccine for the first time at the end of last year, and diabetes making complications from the flu potentially lethal. Yes.
But yeah.
Absolutely epic. So thank you so much for that, Dan. I can't believe that's our time.
Oh my gosh.
That was a very quick show tonight. So thank you so much, everybody. Oh, let's see what Bammers is saying. I was wearing latex-coated gloves at the PO for sorting mail until I started having the reaction. Afterwards, I could no longer wrap rubber bands on my wrists. So it's a latex. BG is produced from the oils found in vegetables and some fruits, so it can be made from many sources, not just corn. There you go. There you go. I think we've started, people. They're all totally engaged with this. And then you get cancers that are rare enough as it is, yet when it does occur, it's defined as either childhood or an adult cancer. I had a friend who developed a rare cancer, which was designated as a rare childhood cancer. She was in her early 30s and a mother of 5 when she died. Oh, that's tragic. That's tragic. Okay, guys, well, we're going to call it there because that's our time just about up. So, do you want to give your...
Yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm glad that I was actually able to make this one because I've been a part-timer recently.
That's all right, sweetheart.
Yeah, just real life shit. But no, thank you so much for joining us. It's been really, really fun. I hope you didn't mind me chatting shit for most of the show. Yeah, any questions, swing me a message. Buddy, I hope you get well soon. Missing you. Like, There's a gap on the
there?
screen where you should be, and it's sad. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and we shall see you next week. Don't forget BOE 10 promoting Chris, not at all.
Yeah.
But buy your shit from Empire.
I know. Okay, guys, as Em said, thank you very, very much. And thank you, darling, because that was really, really enjoyable and informative. And it's just amazing having your wonderful science brain with us that you can do all this. So it's much, much appreciated. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Bunny, my darling, we are missing you. It's not the same without you. Thank you, Hercine. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Village. Yeah, it's not the same without you, my darling. We hope, for those that don't know, Bunny hasn't been well. She's been in hospital. She's now out, but she's resting and she's getting herself back to being well. So that's why she's not with us this week. So rest up and look after yourself, and we'll see you back with us when you are fit. Guys, we couldn't do the show without you every week coming in to chat and chatting away with us and helping to entertain us as well. So we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us as always. We shall be back next Friday. I don't know what we're going to be doing yet. We will let you know.
Yeah.
The articles and the items and things that we've spoke about are on the Bitches of Eastwick group, so you can go on there if you're not already a member.
And I'm going to post all the research that I was talking about as well.
And then we'll post all the links for the research and stuff. So Bunny is always fit. You're absolutely right, Irish. She's very fit and she's my bitch. You're not getting her. So thank you
for the bits.
And we shall see you all next Friday. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.